A very warm afternoon to all my dear students. Well, on your demand only, I have brought Modals. Revisional, you can say it's just like a revisional one. And I have tried my level best so that all your confusion would be clear. Okay. Uh, it's a trick you can say, or it's a just shortcut method you can say. Okay, and its method is called C. SEAM seam. Seam is here like in your shirt cuff, collar, okay, and such a kind of a stitches you can say. Okay, that is a seam. Seam, this method we are going to study. Yes, of course. So let's study now. Let's what it's that actually it's what it's acronym. Okay, and I have tried it in this way because so that it would be there in your mind forever and ever. Okay, like if you wish, even you can ask for this presentation, send it on your personal window as well. Now that same is if we talk about like S stands for state and say, then E means E expresses pan, A expresses ask for pass. Pass, you know what is pass? Yes, I think that you know what is pass. And at last is make low co-suggestion. My God, low co-suggestion? What does it mean? Well, okay. So let's start with the S. Okay, S here it's state and say, and it's pop, means pop. Okay, generally what pops? Balloon pops. Okay. Now here you can see the dot also. The first P is if you talk about its preference. Op means its opinion. Opine that just now we did it in the assembly also, opine. Now, if you talk about preference, we have would, okay? Even in opine also it shows would. How? Preference like I would like to do that. I would like to go to school. Right now it's come to my mind. I would like to go to school. Verb plus to base form. Okay. I would prefer dancing. Yes, I love dancing. It means that verb plus ing gerund. You will in the later studies you will study gerund about gerund in non-finite verbs. I would rather prefer coffee. Verb base form. I would rather sleep. Yes, of course. That is a preference you are telling. Okay, and it comes under would through would. Opine also, if you talk about why, because we use as a conditional one and it expresses the imagery. Imagery means I am giving something, in opinion. I would not believe anything he says. That I'm giving my opinion. If I'll ask you that what is your opinion towards the COVID pandemic, you would say I would like to say that it should not be, it must be you, but starting what you are saying, that is would not, means you are presenting your opine, you're presenting your opinion over that. This is clear. This is would in terms of preference and in opine. Okay, let's move to next. E expresses pan. It's now wow, what's pan here means? Pan means P stands for possibility and prohibition, A stands for abilities and advice, and N necessity, where you have lots and lots of confusion. So possibility, yes, of course, can, could, may, and might. Oh my God, all else. Where should we use and where shouldn't we? See, for possibility, we have already discussed so many things about it. That may is very strong possibility, might weaker possibility. Okay, can you can say it's a very informal, casual, and could, of course, it's a very polite request. So now if I talk about in terms of percentage, so may is what 50-50. I may take class tomorrow. I might go to school tomorrow. Chances are less because of lockdown. Okay, I can and could shows ability at that time, that I have that ability to make it something possible. And could I was having an ability to make it possible in the near past tense. Okay, permission, can and may. If you talk about permission, may, it's very formal and extremely polite way of talking. Can, again I'll say that can, it's very casual between your friends. Like suppose if you go to school, hey my buddy, hey my friend Jane, how are you doing? Can I take this? Can you do this? But if you say may, they will look towards you. Whom you are talking about? May? So it's like something. And if you talk about, like, it's something like, if you want to go to any person you do not know, and a person holds any position, and if that towards that person, can I come in, ma'am? Can I come in, ma'am, please? Why? So it means that at that time you will say may. Okay. Now prohibition, no, 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 you must not do that, means prohibited, extremely prohibited. If you are doing that, you are going to face the consequences. Okay, let's come to A, that is abilities and advice. See, abilities, can and could. A can is the present one, and the could would be your past one. That when I was a kid, okay, I could dance, but now I can sing well. Are you getting my point? When I was a kid, I could dance, but I can sing well now. So it means that when you were kid, it was your past habit that you could dance, but now it's not. The present ability is that you can sing well. Okay? No. Now necessity, of course, have to and must. Now the basic difference between necessity and advice is only of have to do it, and advice, it's a piece of advice you are giving to a person, whether it's up to that person whether to take it or not to take it. Okay, just for an example, if I'm saying that you are having your exams tomorrow and it's very less time is there, so I'd say must study, because if you're not going to study, you definitely you will be fail. If I'm saying I should, you should study, beta, so it's up to him. Result, whatever the result would be, no matter. Okay, so must means necessity, it's strong recommendation towards anything. Okay, that is the necessity. And advice, it's like, okay, fine, means like being a person, being a care, like you caring person, you owe for someone, you take care of someone, you are saying that you should do that, buddy. Okay, you shouldn't do that. If you're saying necessity must, there is something like you will have to, you're sure, definitely, certainly you will have to do. And why I'm using certain words through which you will be able to understand that yes, this sentence, if it means that surety, definitely, and certainty, or certainly, yes, it means that you will have to use necessity. Pass, assistance and permission, again it has come like can, may and could for the permission. Just now we can and may and could would are very common modals, and it's very, it's very important to draw a thin line in all these three modals. So if I'll asking, if I'm saying that for the permission, can I go to washroom? I got can. It shows the ability, but I do not know whether you are allowed to go to washroom. Well, let's take another word for the permission. May I go to washroom? You are a young man now and you are asking for the may, yes. And when you was a kid, can I go to washroom? Like that, okay. So if if I have the ability, if I'm saying, hey, can I do this? Because I have the ability to do that and I'm seeking the permission. But it's very it's very informal, and it is between friends, acquaintances, or it's very casual approach. So casual approach you cannot do with it everyone, isn't it? So if you permit me to this, I can do this. Okay, I can do that. Can I do that? So that's a seeking permission. May is very polite and very formal way of speaking, extremely formal way of speaking. when it's something like power difference, if you can say. Now, suppose if you want marker and you do not know anyone here, you do not know me, and if I'm having the marker and you are like seeking, if you say, may I have your marker please, maybe that you would have some work, so it would be fine because you do not know me. Okay, I'm not your acquaintance, neither I'm your friend, and it's not environment casual approach. So in that case, may I borrow your pen? Yes, of course you may. So that's a main thing. That is a way of saying. It's not that if you are going to say me, can I borrow your pen? I'm going to kill you or I'm going to shoot you. No ways. It's just a proper way of saying something. Okay. So if I'll say, like, suppose if you're in an environment and you have some urgent work, you do not have mobile, and if you want mobile, let may I borrow your phone? Yes, of course. You do not know, and no one is there to whom you know. So, but obvious that you will say, may I borrow your mobile? I'll have to call. Suppose if you go to McD, McD, may I have burger there? May I have milkshake? And the next moment he will say, may you get out of this? Because there you cannot say may. Can, of course, can or could. Could also you can use there because could is one way, one modal that where you can seek permission. Could is the way of polite, like can, he's not McD, people are not your friends. Isn't it? Neither they are your acquaintance, nor they are your it's a casual environment. So could you please give me could you give me burger? So may, if you are saying grammatically, it won't be incorrect, but there is always an appropriate way of saying something. Okay. So in that case, you can say may first. That's why I've numbered that. May first, second could, and third can. So just do remember that may is extremely formal, could it's extremely polite manner, and may is also polite, but it's a formal, you need to take care of the power position at that time. If it is extremely formal environment, can with your acquaintances, with your friends, okay, like that. Now let's come to the assistance. This means that, can you help me, like you are in a wrong environment say means you are not familiar, you are in a very unfamiliar environment and you need any help. So that in that case, you will ask, can you help me? Or could you help me? Or you can say, okay, so you can't say, can you help me? Because again, that, and it's if you're in a family functions or you can say familiar environments, any birthday parties, it's your acquaintance. Okay, so you can ask that, can you tell me where the deserts are? So in that, of course, can you tell me where the deserts are lying? Okay, so in that case, it is appropriate. But if you're in an environment, means you can say in a very official environment, or you are in a like environment where you are not familiar, could you please help me? Okay. Now, would, like I'm giving you an example that would you be able to give me leave next Tuesday? Suppose an employer saying to his boss, it's just imagery one, that maybe like if it is he's not going to grant, it's something like it's not something is not, it's not going to harm you all. Okay, so this is the basic difference, my dear students, between the different modals where you will have to use. So you need to take care that where and how and why, and you need to draw a very thin line, then you will have to use. Last one is logical conclusion, make loco suggestion. Logical conclusion, as far as that is must. Okay, in there make local suggestion, that is M is basically it's what must. Different uses are there where I must do it. Must means there is some logically I'm saying, and I believe it that I will have to do it. And at the same time, there is strong recommendation also. Strong recommendation and necessity also. So see, at the same time, everything is there. Prohibition, if you say, you must not do that. Okay, you must not break the rules. Here I am again taking you to the again back tour. See, advice ought to is also there. In advice, if you talk about you ought to study. It's not replicable with must. Just remember that. Okay, you will get to know lots of okay points, moral obligation and moral duties with ought to and must. Still, you will have to find it out where we will have to use ought to and where we will have to use must. So here are the things where you will have to use strong recommendation, necessity, and prohibition where you will have to use not with must. Okay, you have done certain exercises where you found these type of statements. So you will have to take care of the things that yes, this shows this certainly, and if it is in the negative sense, but obviously you will have to use must not. So I hope that I solved your purpose, isn't it? So if you think that it's going to help you out, you can ask for me the same presentation. Okay. And at the same time, I hope for the best that I am successful in clearing all your doubts. Okay. So excuse me if I committed any mistake there. So stay blessed, stay safe. Tata. Bye bye, everyone.